Chapter 50. Jason. Nothing was left of the giants except for heaps of ash, a few spears, and some burning dreadlocks. The Argo II was still aloft, barely, moored to the top of the Parthenon. Half the ship's oars were broken off or tangled. Smoke streamed from several large splits in the hull. The sails were peppered with burning holes. Leo looked almost as bad. He stood in the midst of the temple with the other crew members, his face covered in soot, his clothes smoking. The gods fanned out in a semicircle as Zeus approached. None of them seemed particularly joyful about their victory. Apollo and Artemis stood together in the shadow of a column, as if trying to hide. Hera and Poseidon were having an intense discussion with another goddess in green and gold robes, perhaps Demeter. Nike tried to put a golden laurel wreath on Hecate's head, but the goddess of magic swatted it away. Hermes sneaked close to Athena, attempting to put an arm around her. Athena turned her gaze shield away, and Hermes scuffled off. The only Olympian who seemed in a good mood was Ares. He laughed and pantomimed, gutting an enemy while Frank listened, his expression polite but queasy.
"Brethren," Zeus said, "we are healed, thanks to the work of these demigods. The Athena Parthenos, which once stood in this temple, now stands at Camp Half-Blood. It has united our offspring, and thus our own essences."
"Lord Zeus," Piper spoke up, "is Reyna okay? And Nico, Coach Hedge?"
Jason could not quite believe Piper was asking after Reyna's health, but it made him glad. Zeus knit his cloud-colored eyebrows.
"They succeeded in their mission. As of this moment, they are alive. Whether or not they are okay—"
"There is still work to be done,"
Queen Hera interrupted. She spread her arms like she wanted a group hug.
"But my heroes, you have triumphed over the giants as I knew you would. My plan succeeded beautifully."
Zeus turned on his wife. Thunder shook the Acropolis.
"Hera, do not dare take credit. You have caused at least as many problems as you fixed."
The Queen of Heaven blanched.
"Husband, surely you do not see this now? This is the only way."
"There has never been only one way," Zeus bellowed. "That is why there are three fates, not one. Is that not so?"
By the ruins of the giant king's throne, the three old ladies silently bowed their heads in recognition. Jason noted the other gods stayed well away from the fates in their gleaming brass clubs.
"Please, husband."
Hera tried for a smile, but she was so clearly frightened that Jason almost felt sorry for her.
"I only did what I—"
"Silence!" Zeus snapped. "You disobeyed my orders. Nevertheless, I recognize that you acted with honest intentions. The valor of these 7 heroes has proven that you are not entirely without wisdom."
Hera looked like she wanted to argue, but she kept her mouth shut.
"Apollo, however,"
Zeus glared into the shadows where the twins were standing.
"My son, come here."
Apollo inched forward like he was walking the plank. He looked so much like a teenage demigod it was unnerving. No more than 17, wearing jeans and a Camp Half-Blood t-shirt, with a bow slung over his shoulder and a sword at his belt. With his tousled blonde hair and blue eyes, he might have been Jason's brother on the mortal side, as well as the godly side. Jason wondered if Apollo had assumed this form to be inconspicuous, or to look pitiable to his father. The fear in Apollo's face certainly looked real, and also very human. The three fates gathered around the god, encircling him with their hands raised.